Okay, so this is the video for everybody that's already watched my Mister, because I want to talk about a scene in episode 4 that is sort of the hook point for the relationship between Lee Ji-an and Dong Hoon, the two main characters in my Mister. And if you've watched it already, maybe you will enjoy walking over some of my favorite scenes with me, and maybe there'll be some of your favorite scenes as well. I noticed that a lot of people that commented on my little review of my Mister were all people that have already watched it and wanted to talk about it more. So I thought I shoot maybe a series of videos where I go over some of my favorite scenes and dissect them a little bit and share with you what makes them for me so compelling and what made them for me so remarkable in many ways and what I'm learning from them. And it'll be hopefully be fun for everybody that's already seen it. Obviously, if you haven't seen the series yet, you know, yeah, there are spoilers in here. However, it's not a crime drama really, so you can even watch this as well. So my favorite scene and sort of the hook point in the relationship in episode number 4 is after Sang Hoon has been humiliated, the older brother, by this property guy who was quite rude to him and got him to apologize on his knees. And it turns out that the worst thing happened, that his mother had overheard it. And he found out because, obviously, she smiled at him for the first time ever when he came home and was nice to him. And that's how he realized. It's an amazing scene as well. But the scene afterwards is really sort of the scene where I could tell exactly 100% where this drama was going to go. And that was here when Lee Ji-an overhears what Dong Hoon, after hearing this story, does next. And normally, so far, he hasn't really done anything to push or stand up to anyone. And he's basically just been a bit of a wet blanket. And she certainly hasn't seen any fight in him. And now he does this and she hears this for the first time. So I'll play it a little bit and then I'll break it up a little bit and share with you what I think.
손님 오셨어요.
누구세요? 누구시냐고? 내 동생이랑 내 형. 뭐야 또 이거?
What I love about it is that we get into the scene through her listening to it. So we haven't seen this yet. And it's such a elegant, beautiful way of entering the scene through her mind. So we're basically on her side listening to this. So we're already imagining what it's like for her to be seeing this. So I think it's a really smooth way of getting into the scene. Because they could have showed this linearly, but they didn't.
네. 어디 나가고 한따까리라도 하게? 얘기 좀 하게. 무슨 얘기? 나도 무릎 꿇은 적 있어. 뺨도 맞고 욕도 먹고.
Her face as well when she's listening is just beautiful. The way she's taking it in such a sort of open way, like she is really slightly in shock that he's actually saying all these things.
그 와중에도 다 결혼신 거 우리 가족은 아무도 모른다는 거. 아무렇지 않은 척 먹을 거 사서 집으로 갔어. 아무렇지 않게 저녁을 먹고.
더 줘?
응? 아니, 괜찮아.
And this is such a great thing. I mean, you don't even notice it when you're watching it for the first, second, or third time. But now we're in a flashback, within a flashback of somebody listening to something, and now we're understanding why Dong Hoon maybe is a little bit of a dead person at home with his wife. Maybe over the years he's got used to basically hiding what actually happened at work when he's being pushed around or humiliated or whatever. He's just used to hiding his feelings. And when you start hiding your feelings, obviously, you don't communicate and you just try to get on with things, but you you start hiding stuff all the time. And so there's a big reason for potentially why that relationship isn't working anymore with the two of them, which is also really nice because it also gives a depth to why she might have been, or why she is at this stage still basically cheating on him and having a relationship on the side with the CEO.
그래, 아무도 아니야. 내가 무슨 모욕을 당해도 우리 식구만 모르면 아무 일도 아니야. 근데 어떤 일이 있어도 식구가 부른 데서 걸면 안 돼. 식구가 부른 데서 걸면 그땐 죽여도 이상할 게 없어.
And there we are. We have the hook there, and we have the. He's basically saying. He's probably the first time. He's the first person that's ever said, I can understand, or, if you do this in front of somebody, there is no reason for you not to get killed, and so it's exactly mirroring what she's basically gone through and done. And it's the first time maybe that she's heard somebody else saying it is possible to go and be in that situation and feel compelled to do that. And so it's obviously made her cry, and it's the first time she has that. We can see her being vulnerable with, Dong Hoon, even though he's not in the actual same place. And we had another flashback in the same story. So we're having a flashback first of Dong Hoon in the flashback that she's hearing, and then we're having a flashback of her own in this story. So it's a beautiful multi-layered way of telling the story, and we're spending the whole time in her head, in her heart, in her feelings.
우리 엄마가 봤다고. 이제부터 내가 너한테 무슨 짓을 해도 된다고.
Okay, now we have the third flashback, and of course now this guy comes along. I wanted to fast forward a little bit to the moment when he carries on with his story, because we're having so many flashbacks now. And this scene, it's just such I learned so much as a, budding filmmaker myself. I'm learning so much from the structure of all these flashbacks and how you can tell a story like this. It's kind of fascinating. And this is like the first time he turns into a bit of a hero and actually starts kicking some ass. And this actor as well, he's perfectly pitched for this scene because he's sort of obnoxious and at the same time sort of laughing at him, only to be kind of humiliated himself. So the overconfidence is perfect. And that was probably the first time we see her looking a tiny bit concerned about him, about Dong Hoon. Just a touch. Now.
콘크리트.
And now it's something in between concern and sort of admiration almost for a moment.
콘크리트 왜 뚫었냐? 지진경들하고 해놓은 거. 그냥 편하려고 건물 척추 펴려냐? 아, 천장은 뚫어서 계단 내고 보호슬라브 다 잘라먹고. 너 옥상도 잘 만들어놨더라? 나무도 심고. 옥상을 설계할 때 하중을 적게 잡아. 뭐 있을 게 없으니까. 근데 거기다 흙을 1m씩 쌓아? 너 같은 새끼들 때문에 산풍이 무너진 거야! 예비야, 너 뭐 건축사야? 구조 기술사다. 야, 구조는 해변이라고 하세요, 새끼야! 내 무식한 새끼야. 너 프리즘 브레이크도 안 봤냐? 스코피 직업이 구조 기술사야, 건물 구조! 스트럭처럴 엔지니어! 네 건물이 몇 채라고? 보라보라 다 이렇게 만들어놨을 거고! 그 많은 건물 죄다 벌금대를 받고 원산 복구 병력 떨어지면 넌 세대써, 새끼야! 과일 바구니 들어.
And there we have it. Hook point achieved. At least for a moment. I know in the next episode she kind of goes back to trying to resist getting drawn into his life in a positive way. She puts it down in the next scene. I'll make a video about my 2 favorite scenes from episode 5 next. Because there are 2 scenes in there which I love so much. And if you know episode 5, maybe you can let me know in the comments which 2 you think are your favorites, or which 2 you think are going to be my favorites. Because these 2 scenes, they both made me cry. Or they make me cry every time I watch them. Hopefully not in the next video. But anyway, so what I loved here was the structure of how flashbacks in flashbacks over flashbacks, and how the flashbacks interlinked in a way. And at the same time, just through that dramatic structure and the holding back of the actual story until we hear it through, Lee Ji-yeon's ears, basically, it was so much more compelling than if we had just seen it step by step. And also so great that to enter that story through her, and her reactions in this drama are just incredible. Like literally, because she just gets it so right. You can see, or maybe you're projecting everything on it because she just is so lucid in her reactions. And you can just see everything happening in her face. And it's really nice to see also as an audience that he is for the first time here, kicking some ass. Because, I think from the beginning, he has this downtrodden quality to him. And this is the moment when he comes out and finally stands up. And the only reason why he stands up is because it's for his brother. But you have to let me know whether you like these kind of scene breakdowns and my feelings and views about them and why I love them so much. I'll try to work my way through the drama. To be honest, I am a part-time filmmaker myself and an actor. So I do this for you, but I also do it for me to kind of remind myself of what I can learn from it, if that makes sense. Anyway, I'll be really curious to join the conversation in the chat, in the comments, and let me know what you think of this kind of video and what else you want me to make videos about, maybe related to my Mr. If you have any questions about specific scenes that you're like, what does that actually mean? I'd love to engage in that sort of thing. Anyway, thanks for commenting, joining, watching, and I'll see you soon.